Welcome, Dr. Lalchand.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sarwan.
Yeah. Dr. Mrigan sir also joined.
Okay, most
Welcome, sir.
welcome, sir. And I think
Hello.
after hello, sir. Good evening.
Good afternoon, sir. Good evening.
So after a few minutes, we will start. Just waiting for some people will join. Then we will start.
Okay, Dr. Lalchand.
Okay.
Lalchand brother, speak something. Otherwise, people will leave. Otherwise, someone can introduce themselves.
Okay. Okay. So now we are the six people, and then no problem. Then people will connect to us according to their time. But we tried a lot to connect more people, but if the people will take the interest for their welfare of the society, welfare of research scholar, then definitely they should awake their self. So now most welcome, we are with us Dr. Mirgang sir, and sir has done the PhD from AIMS New Delhi, and he was the chairman of the Society of Young Scientists during his PhD, and he has worked a lot for the welfare of research scholar during his chairmanship also. Apart from it, after his PhD, he joined as a scientist in IIM Tech Chandigarh, and he has published so many research articles. And apart from it, he is also the founder member of the People for Science, and right now he is working for the welfare of the society. How can improve our scientific temperament, scientific culture as some other prospect for the innovative things. And sir always encourage to us, and even he always ready to suggest the people how can improve our scientific temperament for the welfare of the research scholar. Here one more our speaker Dr. Sarvan Paswan, and he has done PhD from MIT University with affiliation of NVRI Lucknow, and right now he is the research associate in MIT University, and apart from it he is the postdoctoral fellow in University of Louisiana and Lafayette, apart, as well as he is also the senior fellow. Sorry for he is also the senior fellow and adjunct professor and senior fellow in SI RG Egypt. So he and Dr. Sarwan also had published so many research article, and he got so many award in the field of pharmacology in science, and right now he's working with the as a AIRSA national representative for the welfare of the research scholars associate for the welfare of research scholar. Even we previously we have conducted so many lecture. We always encourage to the people, encourage to the research scholar, at least the scholar should come and they should share their view and their idea, innovative idea for the welfare of research scholar. Even most of the time, if we will raise any issue, the media also, the electronic media always ask to us, what is the contribution of the research scholar in our development of country? So such kind of question they always ask to us. Even they are asking, what are you thinking about the new education policy and some other things. So that is the very important thing. At least we should explore to us how we are important, how we are contributing our few things for the development of country. Because somehow the people are not giving the priority for the research scholar, even they are not getting the proper respect and proper facility for the research. So now we will discuss one by one how we are the important. And one more speaker, our the very young fellow and PhD scholar Viru Srinivas. He is doing PhD from NIT Suratkal, and he has the lots of idea. He want to share also his view for the welfare of research scholar. So most welcome, Viru. Please come and share your view.
Yeah, thank you for giving this opportunity, and who are attending, all of them welcome to this meeting. And today everyone knows the importance of the research scholars in India, not only India, across the country. Today something is coming in out from the market, that is the because of that our research only, because of every company also refer our papers, and they will do the research that problem, and they will do the some of the people were not doing hardware, but they are implementing the hardware. Chinese today, they see that everything is a marketing China company. How they are manufacturing? Because of they are taking our papers. Because of India, still now we are we are in the service sector only. We are not went to manufacturing sector, India. So that they are taking our papers as a reference, and they are thefting, and they are making the marketing there, and again we are only buying. Our research is going to waste. Actually, if I will say perfectly, our research is not helping for our society, our country. Our research is going to help to the others, because of we are not able to set the industry point of view perfectly, manufacturing setting here. That is the going on in this country. And today research, everyone knows the importance of the research scholars, but we are the lacking about the research scholars problem, and we are unable to raise our research scholars problems, how to solve. We are not able to share everyone. No one is showing the interest about this one also, because of we today every college has raised the college fee more than 2-3 times, but fellowship has not increased. So that Indian research importance everyone know, but research scholars numbering is reducing today very lot. Last week, my college also given notification. 10 people only applied to PhD. 10 people. If this numbering is reducing this way, then how the research will continue in India, and how NITs, IITs, professors also, they cannot do the research properly. If the research students is not there, we cannot also not get the grant funding. These all the problems are there. Why we have to study today, why research scholars are reducing in India, and how to improve that. And you today, 2 days back only, we saw one newspaper, the government has stopped Maulana Azad Abdul Kalam, that fellowship. Mostly 5,757 people are getting that scholarship. Today suddenly they are stopped. How PhD scholars will survey in this country now, if they are doing that thing? no one has responding these things also. We have to respond every issue because of PhD is nothing but the not only just research and studying. PhD people has to speak the voice for the society also. Our research will be helpful to the society. Our voice, same way, our voice also has to helpful to the society and research scholars, all the people. Otherwise, whatever we are doing is not useful. How much? This is my side.
Okay, Doctor. Okay, Viru Srinivas, and thank you for the share your idea. And now I would like to welcome Dr. Sirvan. Please share your view and what are you thinking about the welfare of research scholar?
Thank you, Dr. Lalchan, for introducing me. And already I'm in the research field from last 9 years, more than 9 years. And literally, most of the time, I fed up with the systems and at a two point of view and life point of view. There is a lot of issues there. Most of the things students are not getting the stipend on timely because they have to feed their families. They have the responsibility a part of their lives. They have to manage their personal works, their lab works, and followed by the other colleague works. A part of that, some fellowship nowadays, some fellowship are merged among the students and by the different funding agencies. When a students we decided to do a PhD and enroll in PhD, then there is a vision, and every PhD students come with a vision to contribute their hard work, their thoughts, their innovation, their concepts, their visualization for the development of our nation, for the development of the concerned lab, for the development of yourself. As well as when he was trained after the PhD, then he also wants to contribute through these all positions, through these all opportunity with the further post PhD fellowship to strengthen the institutes. The basic requirement of the students. Actually, I can say also I was working in AIMS before the COVID and after the COVID. I think June 2020, the project was funded by the DBT and it was completed. Even the report was also submitted. And after submission, still date, I didn't get that part, the rest of the salary for my projects. And day by day, when we submitted the utilization certificates, after some days, again we get the mail, you have to submit in this format. Again we have to work on that, and again we have to prepare the whole things, revise the whole things, and again we prepare in the new format, again we submitted. After 1.5 months, again things will come. You have to mention, you please find the attachment and you have to mention the rest thing on this new format. From last 2 years, I am changing the format only, submitting the utilization certificates only, but still we didn't get any positive things. In place of that, when I was doing my PhD with a UGC fellowship, earlier when I joined the UGC, then it was too much typical and critical. But UGC people have improved their distribution, direct benefit transfer process. Really, when it was implemented DBT, then fellowship will come regularly. But after 1 year, again it will be hold for 3 months or 6 months, and after 6 months we will get the things. But matter is not that if fellowship is coming regularly or not. I think it will get after 6 months or after 1 year we will get it in a bulk amount. But this 1 year is a very critical year, very critical time. In that time we have to manage the lab work, we have to feed ourselves also. जब दिमाग में यही चलेगा यार शाम का खाना कैसे खाएंगे, पैसा है नहीं तो फिर हम काम कैसे कर पाएंगे. जब दिमाग में यही नहीं रहेगा, जब दिमाग में पूरा टाइम यही चलता रहेगा कि यार अभी तक कुछ हुआ नहीं है, प्रॉपर रिस्पांस भी नहीं आ रहा है, तो हम कैसे क्या करेंगे, तो जो हमारा माइंड है ना वो डाइवर्ट हो जाता है. वी आर नॉट एबल टू फोकस ऑन आवर ओन वर्क. वी आर नॉट एबल टू we are not able to conceptualize the thing. We are not able to draft the things as per our experiment or as per the vision of the lab. We are not able to standardize the experiments because in our mind something is going. So I think government या administrative या funding agency, they must have be the some universal format for the each and every funding agencies. At least when students will be awarded with the new fellowship, so at least suppose that it will be awarded for the 3 years or 2 years or 5 years, then student can think that now 5 years is free from the money या 5 years is free from the other point of view कि हमें टाइमली है कि 5 साल तक मुझे कुछ सोचना नहीं है. then student can put their whole energy, their whole thoughts, their whole minds in the pure research, and they will deliver something in the society. Second one thing, why after the PhD those students are intellectual having the high impact publications, and in our country they are still suffering, they are still walking from one lab to another, and no one is ready to accommodate with. There is no opportunity either in industry, either in academia, either nowadays condition is that in my pharmacy PhD people are going to join in 30,000, 35,000, and their fellowship during the PhD is the 45,000. Then these all are the gap, and these things needs to be very critically they have to say. दूर से तो लगता है कि हाँ रिसर्च है बहुत अच्छा है, लिटरली जब उसके अंदर जब जाओ तो जो जिस मोटिवेशन से या जिस एनर्जी से स्टूडेंट पीएचडी ज्वाइन करता है ना, 3rd ईयर 4th ईयर तक आते आते आफ्टर 2 years 3 years ना दे विल पास. Their confidence was loose. They are not able to conceptualize. They are not able to put their whole energy because there is no proper channel. This is the and this is the funding point of issue. A part of that, कोई proper हमें केमिकल लाना एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कि यदि सपोज हम स्टडी लगाना, मुझे केमिकल लाना है, केमिकल मुझे खरीदना है, तो इतना हैरेस कॉम्प्लिकेटेड प्रोसेस होता है कि पहले इंडेंट बनाओ, फिर उसको वहां दो, फिर उसको वहां दो, फिर उसको वहां दो, फिर वो 4 महीना पूरा प्रोसेस में लगता है, 1 महीना, फिर उसके बाद वो किसी तरीके से वो आगे बाहर जाता है. पता चलता है कि केमिकल लाने में 3 महीना 4 महीने 6 महीने लग गया. Dr. Lalchan told me that कि in US is the condition is that कि केमिकल आज खत्म हुआ एंड मॉर्निंग में उनके लैब के बाहर वो केमिकल मिलता है. दिस इज द फास्ट प्रोसेस. They have to enjoy the quality of life. They have to do as per their wish. There is a lot of conflicts, and that's why after PhD the student move out in other countries. In other countries, I think either I am talking about the US, UK, Europe, anywhere. Every lab having the Indian students. Suppose that in one lab there is the 10 students. Among 10, 2 to 3 are Indians. Why the people are went there? They are using our minds. They are publishing in the very high impact using our minds, but we are not able and we are not capable to use our minds, our intellectual in our country. Third one thing, कि every Indian researchers, they are publishing their work in the outside of the country. US जर्नल पब्लिश करना है, चाइना जर्नल पब्लिश करना है, यूरोप जर्नल पब्लिश करना. भाई क्यों इंडिया में इतने सारे जर्नल्स हैं, आपका क्वालिटी वर्क आपकी कंट्री के भी जर्नल में तो पब्लिश हो सकता है ना. जब हम ही अपने कंट्री के जर्नल्स को आगे नहीं बढ़ा रहे हैं तो बाकी लोग कैसे बढ़ाएंगे. तो हमें इस चीज पे भी फोकस करना चाहिए. इस तरीके की भी प्रॉब्लम, इस तरीके का भी इशू है. अपार्ट ऑफ दैट मेन इशू इज दैट कि आवर इंडियन सिनेरियो, our administrative and scientific, I don't think what they are doing the our top our the on the top position sitting in the funding agency are those who are dealing with MHRD or ICMR DFT DBT. What are their planning, we don't know, but they must be focused on the basic problems of the research scholars, and without this we can't able to beat the other things. We can't able to, we have to do a lot of things. We can do the high quality research, but we can't stand anywhere. There is lots of problem. That's all, Dr. Lalchand.
Okay, okay, Dr. Sarwan. So now I would like to invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Mirgang, and he always encourages to the research scholar for the welfare of science and society and everything. So thank you so much, Dr. Sarwan. And now I would like to invite Dr. Mirgang. Please, sir, share your view and to encourage the research scholar.
Thank you, Lalchan. I will say a few things. I requested Lalchan that others should speak before me so that I will get an idea what kind of problems we are facing and what are the issues these days. So
it's the open platform to all. If anybody wants to speak something, please share your view. And that for the all, this is not limited to anyone can speak and share your idea. Sudhir, and somebody want to say something?
Srinivas? హలో
Yes.
తమ్ముడు చెప్పావు చెప్పు.
Swapnil Pandey want to say something? Okay, sir.
then I will speak.
Okay.
Okay. So basic thing that I heard what other two speakers have said. See, the problem that researchers are facing, I think they're not very different from what they were facing 30 years back. Problems are of three types. One is while doing their research work, in particular while doing their PhDs and working for thesis, working for degree, they do not get the kind of atmosphere they should get to do a meaningful work. Means in terms of funds, in terms of fellowships, in terms of facilities, in terms of environment, they do not get that kind of facilities. The same research scholar who is not able to produce very good research papers in India, when he goes abroad, they do wonders. So obviously, it indicates the problem doesn't lie with the research scholars itself, but with the system that in which he is working here. Like all of you said, there is a pressure of fellowships. You are getting it or not. How long will it continue? Will you get it next month or not? Because research scholars generally are in the age that they should be independent, financially independent, and should not be dependent on their family. Then this question comes about facilities, about general environment, where we have seen that in many places the guides work like as a lord rather than a guide. They try to exploit the research scholars as much as they can. They try to use them for their personal benefits. They try to suppress them. They do not let them think of their own. The idea of research, which should be creative research, some creative ideas that should come from the research scholars, that does not go forward. Even if someone has an idea, you won't be able to express it because most of the time supervisors won't let it go. And if you have some ideas which are different you may face problems. So that way, research scholars are not able to get the kind of atmosphere they should be working in. And then while doing PhD, they may get some fellowship. But the question is, what after that? We do not see the conditions that prevail in our country, that after doing PhD, there is very little scope for getting a decent job. 90% of the people, as far as I think, go for something like research associateship or some this kind of thing which are in project or which is tenure based. And again, when you are doing in this kind of work, which is tenure based, which is not permanent, which is no guarantee whether if it is there for 6 months, you may get for next 6 months or not. You are always under pressure and under the thumb of the guide. So your status, though your status is changed that you have finished your PhD, but actual status does not change. You do not have any freedom to do research. You do not have any freedom to live your life. You are constantly under pressure. This is not kind of job you should get after PhD. You should get some good job, decent jobs should be there for researchers, in which they can pursue their research. They can also have something in their life. They want to earn. They earn 25, 26, 27-year-old boys or girls. They should be able to earn something for themselves. They should have some reasonable living. In the lack of this, they can continue dragging themselves in projects, or then otherwise they will go abroad. And when they go abroad, they will do some good work. Right? So it is not that research scholar itself is wrong. The system itself is wrong. Your guides, your supervisors, your departmental people, though your administration is so horrible. When you get projects like, for example, just now some problem was said, but getting a project itself is not a very easy thing. You apply for a funding agency, GST, DBT, ICMR, CSIR, or whatever. Unless and until there is enough contacts of your supervisors, you won't get the projects. If you get the project, getting the funds is another difficult thing. If you get the funds, getting them released is another problem. And even if you have funds released to your institution, getting things out of that fund, like you give the example of chemicals or any consumables, any contingent thing, or even instruments, getting those takes so much of time and so much of mental pressure. And if they're finished, and suppose you are doing a crucial experiment and some chemical is finished, you are waiting for 2-3 months for it, you may lose your experiment, or you may definitely lose your time. So such kind of atmosphere does not let you work in a atmosphere in which you should be working in. And 99% of the cases, research scholars in most of the institutes, particularly if you're registered for PhD, then you have some chance. But otherwise, the one big problem you will face is you don't get an accommodation. That itself is a challenge. You have to live, you have to eat. And if you have to live on rented accommodation, your life is a miserable life. You live in a very bad shape. I think these are the problems which everyone is facing. And because of this, we see brain drain. And there are 2-3 types of brain drain that we see in our country. One is, of course, the external brain drain, in which you see the person getting trained here. He has got all the training of research in India, but he will go abroad to USA or England or Germany or wherever country, and he will do work there. So all that society has invested in him and in his training, the fruits are reaped by a different society altogether. Similarly, there is also an internal brain drain. Internal brain drain is that you are trained for something, but you will not find suitable position in your life. So you will settle for something less. So your training is gone. You are doing something which you are not, for which you are not, you are a bit more qualified. You are qualified for something else, you don't get a job, so you settle for something else because you have to live, you have to survive. So that way, an internal brain drain takes place. Whether you don't leave your country, but your brain, which is trained, is not doing what it should be doing. So these kind of things are there, prevalent here in our country, which should not be there. Because science and technology both are the backbone of future. If we do goose research today in science or even in technology or in applied science, it gives benefits in future. A good fundamental research today will be the basis of technology of future. Good technological research today will be the basis of something which the society will be using. Right? So if those kind of things are not produced, then country will never be independent. It will always be dependent on external forces, and they will dominate what we should do because they will decide what should be done. And very rightly pointed out by previous person that these fellowships, the Maulana Azad fellowship was stopped, which were for minorities, Muslims, Sikhs, Isais, and others, Bauds, minorities, which is, and the logic given by the government was very, very funny. They says these fellowships are overlapping with other fellowships, whereas we know that you cannot, under any circumstances, claim two fellowships. So the question of overlapping does not arise anywhere.
Not only, sir, excuse me, sir. Not only that, some other fellowships, even in PhD and postdoc also, some UGC fellowships are closed.
Yeah. And their idea is to gradually, the kind of policies that government is following, the idea is to reduce the number of fellowships, reduce number of research students. And this way,
sir, the autonomy of the institutions are also not.
And they will give, institute will be asked to become financial autonomous. Means what? They will have to generate their own funds. So how will they generate their own funds? There are 2-3 methods suggested, that you increase the fees from the research scholars, you charge more, or you use your premises for generation of funds. Like, for example, you have some lawns, you have some auditorium, some halls, you can rent it out, or ask for investors, for third parties, old people to donate, or third parties to invest. So the parties will invest only when they see there is a profit. So that way, the entire research will become a game plan of business. Whereas research should be government funded, should be decided by the policies which are beneficial for the country, not by for the policies which are just giving immediate profits, right? So these kind of things will are going to happen, and this situation in state universities is even worse, where there is very few fellowships for state-funded universities for research scholars. They have to get it outside, so they don't do PhDs. They don't do any work unless and until they get fellowship. And they aren't exactly, the state-funded universities do not give that many fellowships that central universities do give, or central big institutes like AIMS, IITs, and ISRs, etc. institutes give. So that way, we will find that research scholars will always remain under pressure, and the science and technology which they could produce, which they can lay a foundation to a bright future for the country, for the society, they are not able to contribute to that level. So that is one big problem, and these problems are not, you all facing this problem, you all must be knowing these problems. And I think these problems are not something which we just should discuss about, we definitely should discuss about, but certain things should be done about these problems.
Srikant, there was a career advance scheme issued earlier. Can you explain about that?
Which schemes? Is it again?
Career advancement scheme.
It's like some faculty development programs also, like UGC. Previously, UGC has to take some
motion on the basis of your experience, and then there
exactly
some issues were there around it.
I'm not very sure about that.
And also UGC used to recruit some people in universities. It's called as a faculty development program like that FDP fellows. But now that thing was stopped in this government.
Yeah, these things are being stopped.
And also all non-net fellowships were also closed.
Stopped. Closed. Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
exactly.
Yeah. So that is what I'm saying. The number of fellowships that is stopping, and it's not just Maulana Azad, that is stopping it across the board, and the future plan is to reduce as much as they can. They will reduce the fellowships.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly. We can see by the funding allocations only, the budget allocations towards research and development and human resources decreasing by day and year by year. We can easily observe with our naked eyes.
Correct. So that way, it is amply clear that the government is not serious about science and the future of the country, because science and technology, a good science and technological research will give a good future for the country, for its economic growth also. Right. So that is what we are finding it very bad in this country. And what I was saying, that the problem that we are discussing, these problems are there with everyone. Everyone knows these problems. The question is, what should be done about this? Right. So I think, see, one good thing that we can do is we can have a organized effort. You can have discussions to start with. Try to motivate our fellow people and say this, raise the issues in different forums. We can organize big conventions, meetings, or programs and roads, so that or going to society with some pamphlets about situation of the country.
Yes, sir. One more thing, that new NEP, new national education policy, it is like a blueprint towards fascism. It is very dangerous to our democratic Republic of India. And the medium instruction of Hindi introduction towards the professional courses like medicine and engineering is a really, it sends a danger bells to our education system. If our education system destroys, our people are ruling in most of the great MNCs like Google and Facebook and all these companies. If we were studied in Hindi medium or in some other Indian region medium, then we don't have a value in a global network or in global industries. It's really very shame on our government, and we have to look for this also.
See, the new education policy that is there, it is actually to serve the market. So we can discuss it separately sometime. It's a very long discussion, but basic idea of new education policy is that entire education research in India should be a tradable service. It should not be the responsibility of the government anymore, but should be tradable service. That means it is a service which can be, the dictum of WTO, World Trade Organization, is that health and education should be tradable services. So that is what the new education policy is all about. They want to make everything as a tradable. So in future, what the new education policy envisage for education, the mostly online education for the common people or those who can pay, they will get some education. And research, they are very curtailing the research funds. Very tight centralized control is proposed. The freedom of doing research will be lessened because there are central bodies which will control the research. So your ideas will be only those with the ruling dispensation. Whichever they want, they will be the ideas that you will have. So you can do research on. Like there is right now there is a research going on in Panchagavya and cow science, etc., which may not give you much in future. Right. Anyways, so that is a separate issue or to be discussed. But that can be discussed. But what I'm trying to say is we should get organized and raise these voices in public. People should know that what is happening. Let me give you an example. a long time back when I was doing my PhD sometime in 80s and early 90s, we were research scholars. I finished my PhD in 91, so it's around that time. In 86, I think the fourth pay commission came where that gets given the rise to salaries to the government employees, so big rise. And we used to get JRF fellowship was 800 rupees at that time. So you may find it funny, but it was like that, and it was not very bad. You could live in that. We demanded that this fellowship should be of the PhD is a some sort of probation for doing research and teaching. So the government lecturer's salary was proposed by fourth commission was 2,200. So it should be about 80% of it. So it should be 1,800 or something like that. And that very big agitation went on this, and we had presence in many campuses. You will be surprised to know there's some names who were there. From IIC Bangalore, we have a coordinator who used to coordinate our educational activities. Also was Shekhar Mande, if you have heard his name. He retired recently as DG CSIR. In Delhi, we had a coordinator SK Sinha who retired as director of CSIU Chandigarh. So anyway, these were the people who were on the field at that time. What I'm saying is we took 14 months of intense agitation and different type of activities to government to accept to these things. But what experience I want to share is that when we hired these things, we decided we should raise funds for doing something because we weren't rich enough. So we went to the society, we made a pamphlet, and we went for collection to places like I was in AIMS, so we went to Yusosarai and Greenmark, INA, etc., etc. And we were surprised that we got very good response from the shopkeepers. They said, "Oh, this is the condition of scientists in the country is very bad." So they used to give us money. They used to like pamphlet printing. They do many of the printers won't charge from us or charge very little. So we have to do these kind of things in which make society aware of the condition of the scientists and science in this country. Because science, everyone understands the scientists should be there. And this issue should be raised. We should draft proper pamphlets. We should have discussions. We should have programs on road, programs and halls, anything, whatever you can do. But we have to make a base wider and do some activities. Activities which are visible to the people, common people also. Activities which are visible to common researchers to start with. Right now we have 25, 28 people here. But that is not enough. Right? But if these 28, 23 people will decide, yes, something has to be done, then they can do something. We have a facility of doing online meetings, but that in those days this thing could not be even think of. The internet was not heard of. Right? So we had still there is a world countrywide network could be built. So one Anandamaya Mukhopadhyay is raising his hand, so maybe say something first.
Anandamaya Mukhopadhyay, please.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So I want to mention 2 points. Point number 1 is, in the foreign country, the PhD research scholars are treated as an employee. But in our own country, the research scholars are getting treated as a student. So in that aspect, we in India, we don't have the right of the employee, right and privileges of the employee as it is in the foreign country. This is number 1. And number 2 is, see, after doing PhD, there is very less scope in some strategically important areas like ISRO, BARC, etc. That is also a prime cause for brain drain. This is true. These 2 things which I needed to mention. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Arun Kumar, you also has a...
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to say something. Most of the friends has issued very good problems which are related to the research scholars. And I would like to add one thing. One of my friends has raised the issue in the national education policies, in which he said government has decided to compile the some curriculums in Hindi subject. I would like to add one thing. Government has not compelled for Hindi. They said ki the curriculum should be in regional language. It is not only Hindi. It should be in regional language. And the idea behind that is that because if one scholar is doing some research, it's good research that could not be communicated for the common peoples and the common investors in India. Even Indian people doesn't know about what he is doing and what he has done. That's if we done something in English. That's why I think government has decided to do research or publish his or her research in regional language, so that even Indian peoples come to know that what he is doing. The reason behind is that, and it not restricts the research in the globally, because by one example I would like to add, if because in Chinese most of the paper in China is published in Chinese. If your quality of research is good, definitely globe will read your research, either whatever language you have published it. So one thing is I'd add ki it is not compiled on Hindi, it is in regional language. Thank you.
All right. That's
Yeah,
fine.
not only that. I don't want to. I want to mention not only that. As Star told that the NEP is like a blueprint to fascism, and as per my observations and as per my view, there is a great harm to our education system. We will discuss as per our SAR suggestions. We will discuss it in another session. I hope so.
Yeah, so that is what I wanted to tell you, that you plus get organized,
Yeah. I respect your views.
get organized and go to the people, go to your fellow researchers, get them, make them aware of these things, and then only we can proceed.
Yes, sir. Exactly, sir. Exactly.
So that is
some experts has to create awareness people. So some students, then the students will go, because of we know little bit, but we don't know exactly entire picture of that one.
So,
That is also one problem.
so even right now the government is like not trying to understand a thing. Any agitation, if we start, so there is a chance that you may entertain an FIR, and at the earlier career phase, if you have any issue, any court case, it will ruin your life. So means as a personally, I feel that we need to strategize and engage our student unions. In that sense, we can resort our powers. So with this platform, I want to let you know that student unions are powerful and they exist in India, and please try to engage with those universities. That's how we can start it. Otherwise, no one is going to do this.
See, that is correct. What you are saying is right, that we should engage students' union, should engage all the in-campus organizations. And you can see, what I'm saying is we need not go straight away on the roads, but we can start somewhere. And we can think of the form given the condition that are there in the country. In what form we can start ourselves. As I said, we can have some big conventions, big discussions, pamphleteering, give pamphlets to the people, common people, to research follows. And then we can rethink that what can be done later. So that has to be done in phases.
Yes, sir. So what should be the next?
We have to encourage. We must engage the organizations that are there in the campuses, the students' union or research organizations or whichever. They should be talked to and they should be brought at one place. Correct. That's correct.
So this question of the what I asked you about the autonomy of the institution, that also triggers, because when BJP wants their own directors to entertain IITs and every institution, so it hurts, because they will not allow to start anything, initiate anything. So
that is correct.
that is the trigger point which we have to think of. Otherwise, people will say yes, it's like another Instagram reel or hashtags on Twitter, nothing else. There are multiple things. No media organization is going to understand our situation, what really is hurting, and the notion that we are having, that the education that we are having as a research is only for our livelihood means. We have to grow up from that. It's not only livelihood, it's about the critical thinking of nation. If the knowledge systems are not clear enough, our society cannot grow. That from there we have to think more, because philosophically we are not reading a lot. Even our English language itself, if we ask anyone to write an essay, you will find that we are just very substandard in that sense. So where are we heading actually? That is the situation. NEP, I don't know how it will help. So that's the thing I want to say.
What you're saying is right, that we are saying correctly the change in administration, change in mindset of the administration is there. But what I'm saying is, even in these conditions, that it's not that nothing can be done. So depending upon the kind of campus you are in and what kind of things are there, we can think of ways of doing things, right? It is not that everything will attract an FIR. We can start with something, then we'll see what happens. So we can have a discussion since we'll start with, and then we'll see how it grows, how it catches with the people. If people are interested, then we can go on.
Yes, in my institution, what is happening? Means CAG audit is going on. I'm in Madras Institute of Development Studies. It's a ICSR institution. So what is happening here is the government has issued that they are digging the 25 years documents that where the funds you have means used, and there are crores of rupees is like, okay, this much money and now we have to reimburse back and all. So, and the institute is saying we don't have funds, and how we are going to say. And even the 7 CPC is not has also an issue. The faculties are receiving 6 pay commission only, and it's a very grim situation. So yeah, I'm talking about the social science institution. It's a very primary institution in social sciences.
You're right, this is happening everywhere. But what I'm saying is we should not allow to let it happen, and some protests can be done. We can think of how to do. It is happening everywhere. Many institutions are having, but at the same time, we are seeing many people are raising voice. We have seen people raise voice in TIS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences. People raise voice in film institution, in Pune FTII, Film and Television Training Institute. So
yes, sir.
Even different universities, their voices are coming up. Osmania University students. There are lots of voices are also coming up. So it is not that nothing can be done. But yes, things are difficult. Things aren't as easy as used to be. That is correct. They are difficult because administration is a very different attitude now. They have, I may not use that word, but someone, Sudhir Paul, I think, uses it. There's a fascistic regime. In this regime, many things are difficult. But the difficulties puts more challenges. So, and challenges one has to accept.
And so, if we, as a young scholars, what we should think of means, should we really go abroad or stay in India and then do our research and then find a proper job in private sector?
You have to decide yourself. I will not suggest. I will say only one thing, that for a person like me, I never thought of going abroad. I thought things are bad, so one has to fight here to make the things better.
Yes,
right?
I also have same thing. That's why I'm doing PhD here.
So I was doing PhD in AIMS, and there was almost, I don't remember any significant friend of mine in India right now of that time. It happens almost every time that people, we used to say names. I don't know. There was a joke that after PhD, the PDF was considered as you're going back home. तो ये मतलब PhD के बाद PDF तो करने आदमी USA जाएगा ही जाएगा. So that was a consideration, but I decided not to go. So many others also decided not to go, and I decided to do work for the society later on. But that is a different issue. What I'm saying is that things one has to decide yourself. That how much. See, in India, you may not get a good job. That is 100% sure. Abroad, you will get good job in which will give you money as well as may give you some scientific satisfaction, academic satisfaction. But at the same time, this feeling is also there that you see the entire society is invested in what we are doing. The institutions that are being erected on the people's money, and they're not erected on the people who are paying income tax alone. See, the indirect tax collection is much larger than direct tax collection. You buy a matchbox for ₹1 and you pay some tax. So every single person in this country has paid for these institutions to be built, right? So we have some obligation for the society. So so what I'm saying is there can be different perspectives. I will not suggest what you should do. You decide yourself how to do and what to do. That I will not suggest. But what I suggest is if you decide to live in this country, you should also decide to fight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you so much, sir, and really you have share your view among us, and that is the truth of our research scholar, how the scholar are struggling in their daily routine research life. So we have to think about that. How can raise the question before the government, before the funding agency, before the public, and we have to take the initiate, because among the scholars, so how can influence and how can add the research scholar for the particular concern, and how can we raise the issue. So that is the very important. So everyone have discussed their view and share your view, but problem is that how can initiate. We have the question, we have the one question, how can initiate before the public, before the government, before the research scholar, and we how can explore our voice on public, as far as sir suggested also, everyone given the idea, but problem only I have the one issue, how can initiate. So we have to think about that, we have to unite it. If anyone have the question and some other view, please share, and then we will think for the future direction, how can we initiate our issue. Hello, Prashant.
Yes, we can. I have posted that. Means we can start with sending letters and postcards to our
That is
esteemed
good idea.
MLAs, MPs.
We have initiated before, but people didn't take the interest. Now the one more thing, why the research scholar in fear? Most of the time people call me and they are asking, sir, if we will raise the issue, then our guide, the director, institute director, they will raise the question, they will terminate to us, and such kind of things also create some fear among the scholar. So we have to think also, even if we are doing something and we are raising the voice and they want to suppress our voice, they want to give the threat also. So such kind of psychology going inside the campus, inside the institute. So we have to think in a broad.
Yes, for that we have some. We have ABVP and SUI and then Samajwadi Chhat Sabha, and also you have to engage all of them. Okay, see, the two things are there. Either you can be apolitical or political.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to fight, you need to be political. if you are saying that we stay apolitical and then we will do, no one is going to listen to you. It's a straight away answer. If you're happy with it or not, that's the other question. It's about resource allocation always.
People are not taking the
How
interest. People are taking the. People are not raising.
people will take interest when they will find their own identity being destroyed. See, if right now, if the person who is spending n number of rupees for IIT coaching, okay, you lakhs of rupees. If that person, if you just go and tell, okay, this is the situation, this is the institution, okay. If your kid wants to do a research in India, this is the situation is happening. It will become a political issue, and once the thing is we have to pressurize our bureaucrats. It's not only that means whoever makes the DPR for the policies, we have to influence that person first. If that person is like a Sanghi, he will not listen. If it's a capitalist mindset, okay, what you are producing, okay, is your research really tangible? That's so the economics part comes in, and then I really don't have answers right now, but yes, Indian scholars doesn't have good citations. Even my professor is like one paper which was very quantitative in nature. It got 1,000 citations, and others which are really good, philosophically deep, theoretically rich, they get 2 or 3 citations. So
that is
Indian
true,
researchers are not.
We have to also find out the answer somehow. The media person always asks, what is the contribution? If suppose we will compare if a doctor are on a strike, the patient are affecting their treatment, some other thing. If the scholar are protest doing the agitation and protest and some other thing, so what is the effect of like the social जो आम पब्लिक है उसको क्या इफेक्ट हो रहा अगर आप प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं, एजिटेशन करते हैं? So that we have to think how we are contributing, how we are important, how the research scholars are important for the welfare of the society and the country. So we have to explore our idea. Even sir also gave us so many idea. How can
we have a limitation in that sense actually. No, I will say that we have limitations on. See, it can be personal. That personally you can gain a PhD. For society level, okay, your thesis will be stuck in your library for a while. But when the policy bureaucrats need it, we need to be there to defend our theories, defend our arguments. That is research. So if we don't have any proper answers, we cannot proceed. That is the basic fundamental thing. I really don't have a perfect answer to that, but means apart from IITs, we don't have any institution left. That is the thing. So, do we have a proper library? In state universities, we don't have proper decent libraries. And even if the accessibility is an issue, everyone doesn't have web OPC. We really don't know the catalog of theirs. So, and even the student of 17 or 18 years old, is he going to public library? And what is the situation of public library? I never went to a public library before graduation. So this idea of critical thinking and science, actually, how to develop science, we don't know. And the worst thing is I want to say one more thing. See, the Discovery Channel, Nat Geo, our parents were thinking that these are the really good things. But what they are showing is the old shows, and really doesn't give any idea or critical thinking. It doesn't help us anything. So these media persons, you go, if someone comes and asks you, you tell them that what the Discovery Channel and the Nat Geo or History TV is showing, is it relevant? Go and ask them, don't come to us. We have to build our arguments around those things. We have to think strategically on ourselves. then we can do it.
Yeah, there are lots of problem and there are lots of things to do and there should be improvement and even the most of the
No, it's all
faculty
about
also.
science.
Yeah, science. I'm talking all science because and there's so many ideas, so many things. But one more issue, one more thing also, the some people scholars are suffering a lot for their harassment and some other things, and so we have to give the idea how can improve ourselves, how can improve the research temperament in among the scholars, among the country, among the institution. So we have the so many things, but first of all, we have the one question: how can initiate? How can initiate? We have to take the action. We have to come together for to unite and to raise the voice and positive and negative all these things. We have to think in all aspect. I'm just talking the general way, but in my concern, only that we have to come together and raise the voice for the.
Okay, so just go and ask whoever is you feel relatable to make a Facebook post at least, or any social media post at least in favor of our.
Big platform. We last 4 year, 5 year we have created the platform All India Research Scholar Association. Even the Facebook, Twitter, and every social media people are connected and research scholars are connected to each other. But problem is that nobody want to come in front and not want to raise the issue. So if we are the 5 and 10 people, 15 people, and we will unite and we will explore our idea, our view on social media and ground level, then definitely people will think. Because now the problem is that some people are in fear, some people are not thinking, because if they will raise the issue, oh, they are thinking, oh, कुछ नहीं होगा, क्या करेंगे. तो ये सब चीज़ें जो माइंड में आती है कि कहीं ऐसा ना हो मेरी जॉब में इफेक्ट हो जाए, मेरी PhD टर्मिनेट हो जाए. There are lots of things.
So we have means so central institution में student union अभी भी work कर रही है ना.
Yes, we will try
Start
to
from
connect
there.
the central university.
Hello, sir.
Alumni network is really important.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Aman.
सॉरी सर, सर मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि सर एक्चुअली क्या है कि जो आपने बोला कि हु विल टेक द इनिशिएट, ठीक है, तो अभी क्या है कि सर मैं काफी महीनों से, ठीक है, मैं महीनों से ये ट्राई कर रहा हूँ कि कोई बंदा आए पोस्टर तैयार करे और हम लोग गेट पे चलते हैं, पोस्टर चिपकाते हैं सर, लेकिन कोई आ नहीं रहा है. एक्चुअली हमें सोशल मीडिया पे हमने जितना वर्क किया, दैट्स फाइन, दैट्स ग्रेट. अभी हमको इन पर्सन मिलना पड़ेगा, हर इंस्टीट्यूशन से कनेक्ट करें, चाहे कि अपने इंस्टीट्यूट का कनेक्ट करें, तब इन पर्सन काम करना पड़ेगा सर. कोई इनिशिएटिव लेने के लिए तैयार नहीं होगा सर. ये 99% स्टूडेंट है जो पीछे हट रहे हैं. यहाँ तक कि जो मेरे साथ थे कुछ बच्चे, मैं, नवनीत, यही 2-3 बच्चे हैं, बाकी सब लोग पीछे हट गए हैं अभी इस समय की बात.
25 दिसंबर को मैं दिल्ली में रहूंगा. इफ यू प्लान देन वी कैन स्टार्ट समवेयर.
Even you can connect with some other institution in Delhi like the NII and other institute, because last time what happened, we have raised the voice for the hike and fellowship, but right now we are just raising the issue on social media and there's no activity in the ground level and people are not thinking and people are not taking the initiation for our right, even not the hike and fellowship. There are several issues. But if we will raise the voice, we will discuss with the higher authority, then we have to determine, oh, those problems are really major, so the government should take the action and take some very seriously, so our research scholar can focus and centralize their mind for research, and then not only for the timing, it should be continue in a proper channel and proper policy.
बट सर प्लान ये कीजिए कि सर हम इन पर्सन मिल सकें, क्योंकि सर अभी सोशल मीडिया पे से ज्यादा कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. इतना था हम लोग काफी ट्राई किया, अभी हमें इन पर्सन कांटेक्ट करना होगा.
Somebody want to say something?
So for the next bit, we should engage some student union people.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Should
We'll
we?
try to engage some other
So,
campus
uh,
union and the institute and some other student body. We will try to connect.
so
Even
in
everyone,
Allahabad,
everyone should try. Everyone
but
should try.
we have a senior Richa Singh.
Yeah.
Means if she has some time, I will ask her to engage.
Okay. So please share your number.
And
Everyone, please share the number. So if nobody is in WhatsApp group and we have the WhatsApp group, so we will connect. We will add. So we can plan also. And even Aman also give the good suggestion. We need to take come at ground level. We have to meet the in person and in every institute. So this is our responsibility. If you are thinking the responsibility, then we can take the initiation on way, and then we will discuss how can come in a mass spectrum, in a mass movement. So that is our voice. That is our thing. So we have to, if we are thinking, oh, our scientific infrastructure should be proper, should be good, then we have to come together. Otherwise, people are doing the research and they are moving the abroad. They are doing on way and they are taking the personal thing. Even sometime what happen, if the scholar are getting some problem and they are coming, oh, they are contact with us, sir, we are facing the such kind of problem. But if they are not getting the problem, oh, they are free, oh, they don't want to come, they don't want to support. So such kind of mindset there among the society. But few people, definitely they have to come together, they have to explore the ideas, they have to explore our vision, then we can unite. It's a long process, but we have to take the initiation soon.
yes, that's the thing. So do we have a master list of any potential people?
Yes.
Someone has to develop that.
Definitely. So thank you everyone, and everyone have joined and discussed the several things, and it was a very wonderful discussion. And especially I would like to thank Dr. Mirgang and sir have given us so many ideas, and sir always, even I am very fan of sir, because sir always give me the support and encourage for the further action. I would like to thank Dr. Sarwan also.
Thank you, Dr. Lalchand.
Dr. Sarwan, if you want to say something, then we will move forward for the wind up.
Already lots of people have shared their view. Now it's time to bind up. I would like to thanks to each and everyone. They taken some precious time for these meetings, and really your presence of this meeting will encourage us to do something. And already we are in process to develop the website of the IRSA and other some formalities. Recently we will launch in national level launch we will do in the next year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Mrigang sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Most welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
खा लो यार जो भी बनी है इधर ही ले आऊं
पूरी निकल गई अब तो देखो। अब देखिए कहाँ उठता है। हाँ देखो 1 2 छोड़ो 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 से छोड़ो।
क्या है ये? लो पकड़ो लो, ले चलो वहीं। सब गिरा दिए। चलो लो इसको उठाओ, चलो लो इसको रखो, ले चलो, ले चलो, चलो चलो चलो। क्या हुआ? प्लेट का है ना, पूरा फैला दिए कमरे में, जो गंद मचा है इसमें कमरे में। मशीन चला देता हूँ उसमें।
बटोरो सब, बटोरो, उठाओ, उठाओ सब, रखो इस पे, रखो इस पे, उठाओ सब, उठा के रखो सब। रखो। चलो चलो पापा के पास, तुम्हारी शिकायत कहते हैं, चलो जल्दी चलो। ज्यादा मात्रा में बदतमीजी। तो काटा हाथ। अरे रुको, तो मैं शिकायत कह रहे हैं पापा से, रुक जा। तुमने मैं काटा है ना, तुमने मुझे काटा।
क्यों फेंक रहे हो?